Hello everyone, Scott here again with Perry Public Library and another session of Your Cup of Tea. And today we're looking at Windows 10 Part 2. This is Part 2 of a series, and Part 1 we already went over and looked at some of the similarities between Windows 10 and Windows 7. We understood what an operating system was, which is simply what operates your computer, the OS of your computer. And today we're going to look at just a few more things about the Windows 10 program, which looks like this. You're looking at a Windows 10 home screen right now with a lot of icons, folders, documents, just a lot of different things. And this is the desktop. The bottom of the desktop is, we call it the tray or the taskbar. I say tray because it's a lot like on your own desk. You may have a center drawer and you open it up and you have a little tray in there with pens and pencils and erasers and paper clips and all kinds of things that you use frequently. Well, the tray or taskbar on a Windows 10 program has a lot of things that you use frequently as well. Last time we went through the start menu and covered some topics with that. Today we're going to start with actually the right hand corner of the screen. And this is something that's sort of similar, but maybe a little different from Windows 7. First of all, we have this little caret or triangle, which has hidden icons. As I click that, it has hidden icons behind it. The only thing that really is important here, you'll see different things like antivirus and Bluetooth and so forth, but the only thing that you'll probably ever really use this for with any frequency at all is when you're trying to print something. You'll have a print icon on. It's not on here right now, but it'll look like a little printer and you'll recognize it. If you're trying to print something and your printer gets hung up or it's not printing right, you might want to click on that or double click it to bring up the printer queue to see what's going on in your printer. So that's about the only reason to use this triangle here, this little caret that you can click to bring things on or click to make them go away. Right next door to that is a battery, of course. Looks like a battery, and mine says it's fully charged. You also see that my battery has a little plug, if you can see that in there. So I'm going to unplug the plug, and that should show us that it goes straight to battery power. There it is. And now it's fully charged battery. So if you find that your battery is running lower on Windows 10, what I've noticed is that when it gets down to about 10 or 15%, it actually turns, it gets lighter and whiter and so forth until it almost turns green at the bottom of the back edge of the battery there. That's time to plug it in. It might even tell you it's a good idea to plug in your computer. So it'll let you know that. And generally you want to leave it unplugged until it tells you to plug it in. That'll save battery life. The next thing beside that is these little radio wave looking things, and this is essentially tells you when you're on the internet or when you're connected or how to connect to the internet. So I can click on that, and it brings up the various internet networks that are available for me to use. When you come into the library, for example, you bring in your own personal computer and you're not connected to the internet. Well, you want to go click on that, and it won't be as dark. It'll be light, kind of like this one here, for example. See how it's kind of light and then it gets dark at the bottom? That shows that there's not a lot of, we're not very close to that. There's not a lot of power or juice that we can connect with. However, this one here is fully dark, PPL public, Perry Public Library public, and it's connected. We're actually connected to that, and it's very dark, which means I can connect to it pretty easily. Now, this says connected secure. This says open. The difference between these two, open just means that there's no password. Connected secured means that there's a password used, and I can disconnect from it. I'm going to leave it connected at the moment. But anyway, the point is that's what this little radio wave looking thing is. That's how you get online, how you connect to Wi-Fi, get on a network. It's all kind of the same thing. Right beside that is a speaker. You click on the speaker, and that tells you how strong your speakers are, how loud they are. You can turn the volume up and down. Just do a left click and grab hold of that and drag it one way or the other. Another thing is, let's say that you bring up a YouTube video and suddenly it's like real loud, and you're trying to think, where's that speaker at? It's so loud. You can sometimes just click on that and click immediately on the speaker, and that little X mutes the entire thing, which gives you a chance to then go over here and do a left click and drag that back to whatever volume you need it at. So X mutes it, click it again, and it unmutes. That's what I'm just clicking outside of there, and that's what makes the speakers or headphones work. Same thing works with headphones. I can plug a headphone in and it wouldn't change this any, but it would just, instead of a speaker, it'd be a headphone. All right. Next thing that we're going to look at is the date and time. And I hover over it and it says the same thing that it says just as I'm looking at it. Is right now 11:11 a.m., which is kind of a fun time to note. But if I click on that, it brings up a calendar, kind of like Windows 7 does, but it's a little bit more detailed calendar and gives it time and so forth. Doesn't give you temperature. But here we are. It's on the 3rd of September 2020. I can go backwards in time by clicking this little caret here, August, July, and so forth. I can go forwards in time to, January. When is Christmas this year? So December 25th happens to fall on a Friday for 2020. This is kind of fun if you want to find out when was Christmas in like 1929, for example. The way to do that is you can click on the date, and then here's the year 2020. These are all the months of the year. Click on 2020, and it gives you these decades. So I can go back to, whoops, I'm sorry, I went forward. Let's go backwards. Let's go back to 2000. Let's keep on rolling back here. 29? 1928, 1929, there we are. So I click on that, and we want to know when Christmas is, so I click on December, click, and December 25th happened to fall on a Wednesday. So that's a fun thing to find out what day something happened. Find out what day you were born on. Go back and see if what your birth certificate actually says is indeed correct. That's kind of fun. It probably is. That's kind of fun. But in order to bring this back to current, rather than click, 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 and all that, just click outside somewhere in space and on the desktop, and then click back on your calendar again, and poof, you're right back on today's date. So that's kind of a quick time travel to get you there. One other thing that's very useful on Windows 10 is you can schedule appointments. And I've scheduled a couple of these, new event test and test 2 event and so forth, just to show you what that looks like. So today I'm on 3rd of September. Yesterday on Wednesday the 2nd, I created a test event. And so that it was called 123455543, and it was to take place at 7 p.m., and that was all there was to it. But let's say that you needed to have a special event on, I don't know, let's say Sunday, September 6th is where you're going to be, and you want to create an event for that. You're going to have a family reunion after church or something like that. This plus here means add. We're going to add an event. Right now there's no events, but when I click that, it brings up this whole page that looks like this, and in a moment, there we go, it's going to show me all these different options. And you see this blinking cursor right here. Anytime you have a blinking cursor, well, I'll move away so it'll blink. Anytime you have a blinking cursor, that means that it's ready to receive any information that you want to put in there. So I can type in family, I don't know, retreat, or whatever I want to write. You can put in whatever title that you want. Notice how that's red because it says, hey, Scott, you spelled that wrong, or there's something wrong with the spelling. I got capital F, capital A, where it should just be capital F and a regular A. If I do a right click on that, it gives me options. Did you mean family or family? Well, I just meant family, so I'm going to click family like that. And notice what happened here. Test 2 event, which is an event that's happening at 11:30 a.m., just showed up on my computer. And that's really kind of amazing. I didn't plan it that way, that should happen, that I'm showing you how this works. So if you're on your computer and something's coming up, and I can snooze this for 5 minutes, it's telling me at 11:30, which is 15 minutes from now, this test 2 event is going to occur. So I can just dismiss that for the moment, or I can click snooze, and I'm going to dismiss that to let that go away. So anyway, I'm trying to type on the word family. I said reunion, I guess is what I said, didn't I? Reunion, retreat. We'll just leave it at that. Location, you can type something in there if you want to or not. And I realized that I didn't put a space there. I can click there and add a space if you want me to, just to make everything nice and neat. The start time and end time. So start time we said was September 6th, and if I got the wrong date on that, I can click that little box, which is a calendar, and say, oh, I meant for it to be the 13th. Okay, we'll make it September 13th, and it's going to start at, instead of 12 p.m. in that little triangle, I'm going to start it at, I'm going to scroll down, I'm just rolling the dial on my mouse, at 1 p.m. Is it an all-day event? Yeah, I'm not going to make it all day. We'll say that everybody has to leave. End is on September 13th at, click, let's say 4 p.m., just a 3-hour event. We'll just say that's what it is. I can add stuff in here if I wanted to, blah, 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 blah. I don't have to. It's created by me. The point is this is what it is. these are the times and the dates, which is kind of the most important stuff. And you can add as much or as little as you want. And then save, that's the key that you want. Save right there. And it says save and close. So it shows me here on the 13th that that family event is going to occur. So I'm done with this box. I'm just going to hit the X right up here, X, and it X's it away. X is kind of like you take an exit from where, when you're driving down the road and you want to be done with that road, you take an exit. That's what the X does. So let's go back here then at the time and date. And it shows that today something's going on. And when was that family reunion? Was it the 6th? So I click on that. No events on Sunday the 6th. Could it have been the next Sunday? What day was it? 13th. Oh, there it is. 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, family reunion retreat. So you see how that works. And you start out with just the little plus. You add an event. This is really good if you have doctor appointments, if you have kids, things at school that you got to go to, sports events, whatever. It really helps with all sorts of things like that. So you can also, down here it says hide agenda. Click on that, and it gives you just the calendar. Or I can say, no, show me the agenda because I want to see things. But anyway, that all has to do with the calendar. That's a Windows 10 thing, which is similar to Windows 7, but not exactly the same. Now I'm going to click away from that, click, and that just toggles on and toggles off. Well, that just about wraps up our second session of Your Cup of Tea Windows 10. That was part 2. So stay with me or click on part 3, which is coming up next. And we're going to talk a little bit about the notifications box and some more tiles and a few other things. And we'll work our way through this. Hopefully you're finding that this isn't nearly as complicated or scary as you thought. It's actually kind of fun. All right, talk to you soon with Your Cup of Tea, Windows 10, Part 3.